Okay. Start over. The battery's good. What educational path led you to this?
I actually have an undergraduate teaching degree. So I got in the early 80s, got my PE degree, and there were no PE jobs. I was going to have to move to Texas to find a job, which,
Wow.
yeah, it just was at a time when arts and PE were just really in the tank in terms of school curriculums. So I worked for a couple years and went back and got my master's in corporate fitness and wellness, which was part of the recreation program at the time, the department I was in. Because I knew I wanted to work in fitness, but there were no 2-year degrees, there were very few certification programs for people that wanted to work like in a health club. There was nothing. So I really had to kind of scratch to find something that fit for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your typical duty? What are What are the typical duties in a typical week?
Boy, I guess the biggest one is hiring staff,
Okay.
and training staff, connecting staff with either existing classes or new classes. So that's a big piece of the puzzle. And then finding sites, because Madison School and Community Rec is a department of the school district. The older adult programs, which are largely during the day, can't use the school sites. So I have to find community centers, churches, any available open space to put older adult classes.
It's public spaces.
Public spaces, yep.
Okay.
And whoever that is needs to be willing to let the public into their building. So then we have contracts with all those spaces. The school district has a facility use agreement that has to be figured out between, a parish priest and MMSD, or a community center, a library. There's lots of different spaces. So I'm in charge of keeping all those things on the up and up.
Does that space that you're potentially going to rent out, does that have to fit certain criteria for bathrooms, exits, etc.?
Yeah,
Okay,
it does. So I always look for, is it a comfortable space?
Okay.
Will it be accessible year-round for our classes? Because that's one of my goals, is to have something available year-round. Do they have enough parking? Do they have custodial staff that will be able to turn the lights on or troubleshoot a space? Because it's not my space, so I'm not there. We have a part-time school district employee / fitness instructor going into all these different spaces and teaching a class. So the background work really needs to be in place before that happens, I think. So.
Very good. What do you find most rewarding about what you do and frustrating?
Probably sounds wishy-washy, but the people. I just ran into one of our participants who's had a recent knee surgery, and he's happy as a clam that he can be back in his class, and thought that his class had a major part in his rehab, and he misses his friends, so he was happy to be back. And there are just there's nothing bad about a good fitness class. So that part's all very energizing. I would say the most frustrating part is dealing with lack of resources to be able to put those classes on. Space and instructors are big problems.
Okay. Is there room to grow in your job or in the program?
For a person or for part of the program, or both?
Let's go for both.
Okay. So yes, would be those answers, because I'm just, in 2 days I'm going to be speaking at the State Park and Rec Conference, WPRA. I'm going to be talking about active aging programs. And I think that one of the things that people don't realize is, at the end of the 2020s, there are going to be more older people than there are kids. So in terms of service, we're going to need help, providing quality classes for those people. So that's, I forget what the scary statistic is, but 8 gazillion people turn 65 every minute or something. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So I already sense that in my programming, that there's more and more people that their expectations for what a recreation department offers are pretty high and very different than they used to be. And I think that's exciting. They don't want to sit around and play cards and do a chair exercise class. They want a good quality movement class that's going to help them be a viable part of the community, and I think that's great.
I
So-
totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there other programs besides this that you are responsible for or participate in?
No,
This
oddly
is it.
enough, I am. It's sort of strange that I'm in charge of a big recreation program for older adults, and it's almost all fitness. I don't think you find that too often, but that's how the program got started. The interest in getting the program off the ground had to do with exercise and nutrition. So that little groundswell has continued, and I think it's great because that happened, 20 or 25 years ago, when people weren't real aware of the need for older people to exercise. So, so far so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there volunteer opportunities for students in this rec program?
Yeah, there always are. MSCR, because we're a really big organization, we have a volunteer coordinator.
Oh.
I mean, we're a really, really big department within the school district, and we have a volunteer coordinator that tries to place people in programs that need help. And, for instance, I have a lot of classes where the people that come into the class sometimes need help with, getting chairs out or getting their equipment. And we kind of run the gamut from active 50-year-olds to people who are 80 or 85 that have limited mobility, but they're coming into a class to make that better. And sometimes those classes are challenging in terms of not the numbers. I try to manage the numbers so that they're doable, but there's always things that people could get really good practical experience with, I think, in a class.
Okay.
So,
Good, thank you.
yeah.
Just because I don't know if it caught it, would you still introduce yourself again?
Oh, sure.
Because it's working well now.
My name is Gina O'Leary, and I'm the coordinator of the Madison School and Community Recreation 50-plus fitness program. It's a large older adult fitness and wellness program with classes all over the city of Madison, 120 classes a week. Yeah, so it's an awesome job.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.